Kiss is a band that as I get older, I think of more and more cynical. And now don't get me wrong, because I still love the music. Most of the music. But I have a real hard time respecting Gene and Paul when they do and say retarded shit. No, Gene, rock isn't dead. Kiss is dead. Learn the difference. But I still can't help but love them for the music they've written. Most of the music they've written. But anyway, by the early 90s, Kiss were in kind of a tough spot. Their drummer of 10 years, Eric Carr, tragically passed away from cancer. Their brand of rock and roll started to fall by the wayside because of a little thing, maybe you've heard of it, called fucking grunge. Oh, and not to mention that music was really starting to suck too. So what do Gene and Paul do? Reconnect with Bob Ezrin, the producer who helped them hit the highest of highs, but also the lowest of lows. Hey, I didn't know about this one, guys. Bob says that he remembers the phone call he got from Gene, basically asking him if he's gonna fuck up again and if he can be trusted. Now, I don't think that's fair. Now, is Bob Ezrin to blame for the elder? Well, yeah, partially. But at the same time, it's equally Paul and Gene's fault. But to be fair to Gene, he has taken more responsibility in recent years, so I applaud him for that. But Paul, not so much. I don't know if you've ever read the man's book, but holy fuck, that guy doesn't know how to take responsibility for goddamn anything. He blames anything bad that's ever happened in his life on other people. Especially the elder, he blames on Bob Ezrin and Gene exclusively. Paul, hello? You wrote Just a Boy. You wrote fucking Odyssey, okay? You're as much to blame as everyone else, Little Miss Perfect. So they started working on the album in mid-91, while Eric Carr was still alive. Now if you ask me, that was a fucking mistake. Because Eric Carr was sitting there with cancer, whilst the band he put 10 years of his life into is moving on without him. Can you imagine how depressed you'd feel in that situation? And I'm sure it didn't exactly help the state he was in. And according to Paul's book, he lived the last few months of his life basically as a hermit, and he didn't interact with the band at all during that time. And I wouldn't either if I was in that situation. But enough of the depressing shit. They briefly reconnected with Vinnie Vincent, the man probably responsible for the real best known makeup Kiss album. That's right, I said it. But anyway, they ended up writing a couple of songs with him for this album, and spoiler alert, the songs he co-wrote ended up being most of the best songs of the album. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, Revenge ended up becoming a bit of a fan favorite, with many saying it's the best known makeup Kiss album. I mean, they're wrong, but still a lot of people think that for some reason. And even Bruce Kulick has gone on record saying that's not only the best Kiss album he had a part in, but also one of the best Kiss albums, period. Now, do I agree with the man?
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Let's get into the shindig. Unholy. Without question the best song of the album, and arguably the best song they ever did without makeup, and you can tell they took some inspiration from other bands from the time, Pantera and Alice in Chains being examples, but still being quintessential Kiss. You know, Bruce Kulick's solo in the song is one of his best, not to mention that punishing riff with pinch harmonics used actually for a reason, and not adding them for the sake of adding them. I'm looking at you, Zach Wild. And Eric Singer, who for the most part I believe to be a human drum machine, is doing a great job drumming on the song, and adding much needed tension near the end of the track, as well as adding to the sinister feel of the song overall. Credit where it's due. Gene's vocals are vicious and that scream at the end. It's good. And Paul is kind of there, I guess. So yeah, Unholy is a great track. You probably already knew this before clicking on the video, but it pisses me off for a very distinct reason. Nothing to do with the song itself, but for the fact that some tricks you into thinking the album's gonna be something that it isn't. Exhibit A. Take it off. Oh god, Paul, did you learn anything from Motley Crue? Never write songs about strippers, because the songs themselves, much like strippers, always end up dirty, gross, and full of chlamydia. And these lyrics, Jesus Christ, are juvenile. This is a song a 13-year-old writes after he watches Girls Gone Wild for the first time. Oh, and let's not forget that breakdown. Take it off, pretty baby. And here it becomes apparent that Paul is trying his best to sound straight. Jesus Christ, Paul, you make Pete Burns look like David Lee Roth. You make Boy George look like Steven Tyler, okay, Paul? You're not fooling anyone. Tough Love. Now this song is kind of interesting. Not particularly good, but interesting. I mean, those verses aren't very Kiss-like, and it's just me, but I hear damn near no bottom end in this song until the end. I mean, I have the bass boost as high as it'll go on my headphones, and I hear damn near no bass. It sounds very thin. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about the song. It's very fillery, very forgettable. But that being said, it's one of the better tracks, so take that for what it's worth.
Most
Spit. I remember when I first tried to listen to this album as a kid, and I got up to this song, then I turned the fucker off, then proceeded to pour sulfuric acid into my fucking ears. I can describe this song in one word, and it'll be disjointed garbage. Oh wait. I mean, why the fuck did Star Spangled Banner have to be included in this song? And again with the cringy sex talk. Look, I'm no prude, but come on, are you even fucking trying anymore? Look, Kiss can write great songs about sex. Hell, a good chunk of their 70s material is about sex, for God's sake. But sometime after the 80s, they weren't able to even touch the subject with even the slightest bit of maturity. And why say spit? This isn't some sort of edited for radio version. No, this is the album version. Why can't you say shit? By 1992, the PMRC was a thing of the past, and don't try and tell me Kiss of all bands couldn't get away with a single curse word on an album. It just dumbs down an already stupid song to begin with to make it even worse. I mean, I get if you don't want to call the song shit, but why do you have to censor yourself? God gave rock and roll to you. Originally for the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey soundtrack, awesome movie by the way, it was also the last song to feature Eric Carr and Kiss. He didn't play drums because he was far too old at the time, but he did record background vocals and you can hear him in the acapella section very clearly. He also played drums in the video, but he was so sick from chemo at the time that he had to wear a wig. And look, I love Eric Carr. He's probably my favorite Kiss drummer, and Creatures is my favorite Kiss album, and he's one of the many reasons that I hold that album in such high esteem. And this song is pretty much a tribute to him, and that fact makes it very hard for me to say this, but I'm sorry, this song just sucks. It sucks so hard, and Eric Carr deserves better than this. And Russ Ballard wrote this song, and that guy's written some amazing stuff. But he's also written some real shit too. Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow, anyone? I mean, I guess I can kind of get behind some lyrics like, yeah, you do need to buckle down if you want to become a worthwhile musician. But that kind of goes without saying, and the overall cheesiness ruins it, and it's not even cheesy in a good way. For example, Steel Panther? Cheesy in a good way. Rat? Cheesy in a good way. But this shit is the worst kind of cheese. Stale and bland. One positive thing I could say is that it's better than the Argent version, I guess. Domino. This shit goes from bad to worse. And I didn't even like this shit back when I was a kid, and back when I would defend anything Kiss did. And this is a shitty, poor man's version of ZZ Top. And I don't even like good ZZ Top, so you can imagine how much I love this song. And the lyrics. She ain't old enough to vote. The last time the voting age was over 18 in the US was 1970. And Gene, I love ya, but that's kinda worrying and creepy. What else to say, this song borrows from a Black and Blue song Gene wrote, Nasty Nasty. Great title, by the way. And Black and Blue is a band famous for featuring He Who Shall Not Be Named. But Gene mainly says it borrows more from Deuce than anything. And the fact that Gene made such a shitty song from using such an awesome song like Deuce as a blueprint is fucking beyond me. Heart of Chrome. This song along with Unholy are two of the best songs off the album. Gee, I wonder why that is. But that being said, this song is nowhere near as good as Unholy. It's definitely an album track. A good album track, but an album track nonetheless. I mean, I don't think it would have deserved to be a single, but then again, much worse tracks off this album are singles, so maybe it wouldn't have been the worst idea for this song to be a single. But yeah, it's quite reminiscent of the Lick It Up era, and it almost sounds like it come from that album. But overall, I think it's good and great. And even though I don't like giving numerical scores for the most part, if I had to give this song a rating, in my opinion, it would be 6 out of 10. Thou Shalt Not. Now this song ain't half bad either. It's actually pretty good. I mean, I think it's by far the best song that doesn't have a Vinnie Vincent co-write. I would say it's even better than Heart of Chrome. In my opinion, it's the second best song of the album. But again, it's nothing mind-blowing, but it does serve a purpose. I think I would give it a 7 out of 10, or maybe even an 8 out of 10. Every time I look at you. You think you've seen the worst of this album? Oh, then I don't think you're ready for this one. Yo dog, we heard you liked Forever, so we rewrote an even shittier version of Forever so you can listen to Forever, Forever. I mean, this song in my opinion is what killed this album. As soon as the sales for Revenge started to slow down, they were like, oh shit, this worked a few years ago, maybe it'll work again. But it was 1992. The landscape was completely different. Yeah, I know Mr. Big broke out this time with To Be With You, but I think we can all agree that was a goddamn anomaly that Mr. Big had a hit at that time. I don't even get how they thought this would work. I mean, this was the era of fucking Nirvana, not Nelson. If they released one of the album's heavier tracks, I think it would have helped them much more than this track ever could, especially since they were trying to market themselves as a heavier version of the band. With an album cover like this, having a power ballad like this on it is like buying an album like this, but getting music like this. In fact, I think this album would have been better overall if they went with a more heavy approach. For example, Juice Priest releases 2 reviled albums, Turbo and Ram It Down, which both followed modern trends for radio play, just like Kiss did during that era. And even though I think, personally, that Turbo and Ram It Down really aren't as bad as what people say, they weren't exactly top notch. But what do Priest do to rebound from this? They released the thrash masterpiece, Painkiller, which today is looked at as not only one of the best Priest albums, but also one of the best metal albums of all time, period. In my opinion, it's the best album they ever goddamn made. Now, I'm not saying Kiss should have made a goddamn thrash album, but they should have continued the momentum of heaviness from Unholy. And they kinda did some eras, I'll give them that, but in my opinion it was far too little. And don't try and tell me, oh, you don't like it just cause it isn't heavy. No, I don't like this because it's shit. I like plenty of music that isn't heavy, and I even love me some power ballads. Alone Again by Dawkins, The Price by Twisted Sister, or just about any of Wasp's power ballads from the first 5 albums. So don't try and discredit my opinion, alright? But anyway, I've droned on long enough, back to the song. It's the worst off the album. One of the worst of the band's career. And for the love of God, Paul, never grow a goddamn beard again. Paralyzed. That opening riff is orgasmic. Unfortunately, that's all I have to say good about the song. Seriously, how do you manage to have such a kick-ass riff, but have the rest of the song be suck-ass? Seriously, it perplexes me. It's forgettable, boring, generic, and just overall piss poor. I just wanna. This song is dumb. Really dumb. This shit makes Unskinny Bop by Poison look like Fugue in E minor. But with that being said, for some retarded reason I do like it. It's stupidly catchy, even though it feels like I'm losing brain cells by the second whilst listening. So it's one of those songs where you kinda gotta turn off your brain and just have fun, I guess. Oh, and you probably shouldn't pay attention to the lyrics, the fucking lullaby breakdown, and the retarded puns. But overall, I do like it. Even though I probably shouldn't, but I guess you'd call it a guilty pleasure. Carr Jam 1981. Originally from the Elder Sessions, but it was scrapped because they couldn't think of lyrics at the time. But Ace did end up redoing it as Breakout on his first solo outing outside of Kiss in 1987, entitled Fraley's Comet. And Ace originally wanted Eric to play drums on it, but Gene and Paul put a stop to it. Yeah, thanks guys. And as a tribute to Eric, they put this on the album. But they overdubbed Ace with Bruce. And look, I don't hate Bruce one bit, but come on, I think we'd all rather hear the version with Ace playing. And I'm sure they could have gotten his blessing to put it on the album, so it makes no sense why they just overdubbed his tracks. But yeah, overall, I don't hate the song, but I don't love it either. It's just kind of there. If you ask me, the definitive version of the song already exists, and it's called Breakout, so just listen to that with all due respect to Eric Carr. But yeah, that's Revenge, and I certainly don't hate it. I think it's alright. But it's way overrated in my opinion, and it doesn't deserve the praise it gets. And I highly doubt this album would get the same praise if Unholy wasn't on it. And I hate to break it to you guys, but a single song doesn't make an album. And people say this is the best non-makeup Kiss album. Shit, I don't even think this is the best album with Bruce Kulick. I think the Unplugged album is better, I think Asylum is better. Shit, I even think Carnival of Souls was better. And that's just what I think, and I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion. Jokes aside, if you love this album, love it. Don't let me stop you. And if you're a lover of this album, if you've made it this far into the video, I applaud you for taking a different opinion, not leaving a butthurt comment because you disagree with me. Seriously, big ups to you. But anyway, I'll see you next time with a band whose wigs are more convincing.